Okay, I think we're ready to rock. Let's start letting people in.
Okay.
Welcome, friends. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We did it. We made it through 2020.
I'm still
Probably
alive.
make sure everyone's muted.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Eric Johnson. Oh my God.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Mr.
Happy New
Lieberman. Wow.
Yeah, it's closer to him.
All right. If you're actually, you know what? I'll mute everybody real quick because I think I accidentally left you all unmuted. And then David, you'll have to I'll unmute you in a second. Okay.
Hey,
Oh, actually,
Ethan.
don't unmute yourself on your computer. Just a second here. I'll unmute your phone. Okay, check your phone. Yeah, who's that?
That's Wayne.
Oh, Wayne is here. Okay, good.
It says Marion, but that's because it's her computer.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. I don't know. Is your screen showing, or are you just on audio?
No, I'm just on audio. Are you seeing my photo?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to figure out where your audio is coming from. So tell me what.
I got it.
What's the name on your Zoom account? Your wife's account?
Miriam.
Mary? Marion.
Miriam.
Okay,
Miriam.
Miriam.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, you can hear me now, correct?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Totally. We can both hear you.
All right.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah,
I think we're good. Just it takes time.
okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for bearing with us. It's good to have you here, Wayne. I will give a quick introduction, and we'll dive in, and we'll have a good chat. We've got a good showing today, so it's good to have you all here. Welcome back. People are still pouring in here as well. And in terms of muting and unmuting, let me see here. I'm going to make sure you folks can't unmute yourself, just so we don't get a little bit of weirdness there. I will make a quick introduction, and I will say,
I'll probably add on to it.
okay, good. Yeah. I think I muted everybody that had some sound. Okay. Introduction is simply that Piano Tech Radio Hour is brought to you by Piano Technicians Masterclasses, an online educational resource that offers cutting-edge instruction from piano industry masters without leaving your home. You can find out more at www.pianotechniciansmasterclass.com. We are ringing in the new year with this community that is rising from the ashes of 2020 itself, and we had our first online Piano Tech convention just a couple weeks ago. That was really fun, really a great success. And I don't know that I've shared it publicly yet, but we're working on the next convention. Might as well do it again, especially for those of you that were so busy in the holiday season that you couldn't make it. And in fact, Wayne Ferguson, our radio hour guest for today, is going to be one of the instructors on that March convention.
Yeah.
And I believe the dates are going to be 18th to the 20th. That should be a Thursday to Saturday. I'll check back in with the official date in case that's wrong, but I believe that those are going to be the dates. And yeah, Wayne was referred to me by a few folks as a really wonderful technician up there in Canada, well recognized for knowing what he's talking about. Has studied with the Little Red Schoolhouse, and has been recognized as one of the best technicians in Canada. So I'll hand it over to David. I think David might like to say a little bit as an introduction
just
as well.
30 seconds more.
Dive in. Yeah.
I met Wayne at a National Piano Technicians Guild conference, and we just hit it off. He came to one of my classes and apparently got some value out of it. And I think he's one of the best piano technicians around. He's kind of, I don't know if they say this anymore, but we used to say it. He's the guy in Toronto. Tunes the symphony, tunes virtually all the major artists that live there and record from there now. He's very intuition focused, kind of feeling focused, very practical, highly skilled piano technician. His work is incredibly excellent. And he's also really practical. So feel free to ask him specific technical questions about how to do stuff, because he's fabulous at it. All right, Mr. Ferguson.
Cool. Any words up front you want to say to introduce yourself, Wayne? And I'll make sure that you are unmuted. Let's hope Wayne had some technical difficulties with his computer earlier on. He's joining us via, yeah, he's muted right now. So let me make sure he's unmuted. You should be able to unmute yourself at any point, Wayne. And he is listed over here as Miriam, but I will change his name. Wayne Ferguson.
Yeah, please change it.
There you go.
You're with us. Awesome.
It's not Wayne Ferguson. It's not Wayne Ferguson.
Oh, did I rename the wrong person? What's going on?
Yeah, that's not Wayne Ferguson.
That's not Wayne Ferguson.
No,
Who's that? Is
it's not Wayne Ferguson.
No.
Okay, I'm lost here. I'm lost here. Okay, so there was somebody
All
named
right,
Miriam.
we can hear.
That's Miriam. Is this guy, but it's not Wayne Ferguson.
Okay.
It's Wayne Stroutman.
Wayne Stroutman.
Hey, Wayne.
Seems the same.
So is Wayne Ferguson not here?
I don't see him.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right.
All right.
Let's see what's going on.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah, let's just roll with it, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about the balance of working throughout a time when you're essentially supposed to be with your family. I don't know if you humans work right up to Christmas, then work in the week between Christmas and New Year's. Can you raise your hand if you either do that or have done that consistently in the past? Yes? No? Yes? So does that mean most of you are sane and just take certain, like between the two holidays off, between Christmas and New Year's off? That's what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting, and I suggest in every class I've ever taught, that you get off the grid, that's really super important for any kind of skilled craftsperson, to just take time and just relax. Don't have a purpose for living at that moment except, wow, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm reading a book or listening to music or watching TV or having a conversation. I'm living right now in this moment here. And I'm not thinking about work, and I'm not thinking about this, and I'm not thinking about that. I'm right here. I'm enjoying being alive. And that's really important. And now they've made a multi-billion-dollar industry out of it. Hey, let's feel good. It's so simple. You don't need to buy anything to feel good. You just need to feel the gratitude that's in you all the time. Or more of the time than you feel cranky and isolated and embittered. Let's say. And this is a really good time to look at that and ask yourself, well, how am I doing day to day? How's my atmosphere inside? Am I good? Am I grateful? Am I happy, healthy, and holy, as they say, as the Sikhs say? How am I doing on a daily basis? And the answer, especially for us who can be so lucky as to do something we love and get paid for it, and in some situations, basically chart our own path and write our own ticket in our craft, it's real important to feel the gratitude for being allowed to do that. There's a lot of people in this world that don't have that opportunity. Ethan, this is kind of like a holiday reflection for me. That's where I've been. Ethan, you got anything you want to say about that?
Well, we were just talking beforehand about how you had an interesting experience. Your daughter was going to buy you something for the holidays, and it was difficult for her to find. And she told the story, of kind of with gratitude to the person who's going to sell her this kind of just like a pullover, to keep you warm, but it was a nice one and not cheap. And she found it, and she asked the fellow to, if she could get it, and he definitely gave her a discount when he heard of your story, that you had cancer and you just got through it, and all of this, and on second thought, he gave it to her for free, and I think this was I think he said like a $200 kind of a nice fleece for the cold. And
yeah, Patagonia.
We talked about how you got to make a living. Of course, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but that's not what any of us is really on the planet to do. That's just a means of exchange, and that's kind of what it is about, is having interactions with people that you feel are meaningful, or even just having interactions with the world, with nature, and the things that you find valuable, just appreciating them and enjoying them. And that's what life is about. So I think what you and I maybe have found interesting is that when you can focus on those things, that gives you more presence, and maybe make it a little bit easier for the financial things to figure themselves out, if you, and the sort of the things that you might generally be concerned about, am I doing a good job? Am I getting better? Am I professional enough? Do I know what I'm doing? That kind of stuff figures itself out when you focused on the things that matter. So I would just echo what you're saying. And it's becoming very clear to me I would say this, just to go a slightly different topic, back to piano tech, with the convention. We talked a lot about voicing. We talked a lot about sort of custom things with pianos, and we talked to Steingraber. And I think that it is becoming clearer too, that in our industry, that custom level of understanding is really what the industry is. There are going to be people out there who are going to take a quick course and try to be a piano technician, and they're probably going to come and go. But the people that are here to stay are the ones that are, diving very deep into how to make the piano sound great, and beyond actually tuning it, as a matter of fact.
Yep. Hey, Ethan, can you unmute individual specific human beings?
Yes. Who are you interested in?
Awesome. Well, I'm interested in just asking some of these wonderful human beings that I both know and know of that are here, their take on Hollywood, not Hollywood, the holiday and work and where they live as far as their work. I just think it's a good time to look back and see what happened this year, how your year was, and what you're looking forward to. That's what I'd love to hear. How your year was regarding your own state of being, uh, uh, and and your work, and what you're looking forward to.
I'm
And
also I'm unmuting two folks who are listed as iPhones because they may be Wayne. If you're Wayne, if you're there, you should be able to unmute yourself. And Wayne Ferguson, not just Wayne. Should be able to
There.
unmute yourself.
You got me now?
oh,
this-
yeah,
Is
baby.
this the Wayne Ferguson?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Unbelievable? He was down in
you
a
see me?
cave and he suddenly popped up.
I've been watching the whole time. Can you see me?
Yeah,
We can see you've been
we
watching
can
the.
see
Wait a second.
you.
Yeah.
Just a second here. Okay, the whole time. Come on.
Yay.
Yeah. I've been listening and I'm waving and yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Hey.
long story short, so you heard our introduction of you. We
I missed
Wayne
that
was
part.
on his
That's okay.
computer and he looked fine to us, but he started having glitches, and so apparently you had to switch to your iPhone, and that seems to be working okay now. So that's good.
Yeah.
And I'll rename your iPhone so that's you. I
Okay.
think it's fair to say we can cut the whatever we were doing because we want to talk to you since you're here.
We want to talk to Wayne.
We want to talk to
Exactly.
Wayne. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very happy to join in. This is exciting. How many are there on here?
Oh, lots.
On the Zoom call, it says there's 65, and then there's
Well.
probably a few people viewing on Facebook and YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 people total.
Wow.
We usually
100
get between 50 and 100
110.
people checking it out.
Very good. Okay. So
Lot of great technicians on this. A lot of dedicated people.
well, I'm so happy to be asked. I've known David for a long time, and I just want to start off. I'm excited to be here and share some stuff. I hope that I can talk about how I make my money. I'm not telling you guys how you should make your money. You guys have to figure that out. But I started a long time ago, and I tried many things, and I just had to figure out, how is it going to work for me, right? And basically, when I started, I decided I was going to work out of a home. So when I first got my first shop, it was a small shop, and then on to the second, the third, and the fourth house. It just kind of evolved from there. I kind of decided I didn't want to go the route of having a shop where I had to go to every day, spending money on rent. And I didn't want to do a store. I figured I could make referrals and generate maybe commissions on sales or work from that sort of thing. So how I figure it out is what I do is like, I guess all of you, we all make money in different ways. And whether it's just basically tuning for standard tunings or universities or, in, institutional type of work like universities or, there's this whole wide range of things. Or what do you want to do, a rebuilding or whatever. So I designed my whole business around working out of my home, right? Having a shop. I work out of a 2-car garage shop. My shop is 20 feet by 20 feet square. It has everything in here that I need. There's a small piano I'm working on now. This is sort of my center of my shop work, everything I do. I had when I first moved into the shop, I decided I was going to take care of a lot of storage. So this shop didn't just happen overnight. It just took years for it to evolve. And I've made a lot of money from this shop. I can refinish panels in here if I want. I used to do it, but not anymore. I have complete dust collection system. I have fest tools all over the place. I invested in, dust collection, shop organizing. If my wife sees those guitar cases, don't tell her there's guitars in them, because I figured out how to get more guitars. I just buy more guitars. I put them in the empty cases. So anyway, that's a secret. And so we'll be speaking with my wife later.
Quick question,
Go ahead.
Wayne. You do work on guitars, or you just collect them to play them?
I build guitars as a hobby. So
Ah,
there's 2 guitars on the bench there. Those 2 guitars I've made in the last few years.
very cool.
It's just something that I do for a hobby. I don't make money at it, but I would like to do it full time. So anyway, the guitar on your right took me 1 year to build, and the one on the left took 5 weeks to build. I decided to see if I could build guitar every day nonstop. So that take 5 weeks. So I do the type of work I do is pretty much mostly professional tunings for all the big venues in Toronto. I also do piano rentals where I have about 7 pianos I rent out. I have a CF3S, 2 C7s, Steinway B. I have a white piano, which is the Kawai 5'7". I have various upright pianos that are placed in some recording studios that I've sold pianos to. And I have them there with an agreement that if I ever need a piano for rental, I can go in and grab it out of Studio B or Studio C or whatever. So it gives them an opportunity to have a piano and gives me a place to store them. Plus those pianos are downtown, right? So it's just another means of making money. I will show you downstairs I have a showroom, which is a walkout basement.
Can I interrupt you and ask you a question about that? So you said, explain it again. You have pianos with folks, and then there's a contingency basis where you can bring it out of their location and use them as rentals, right? Is that what you said?
That's right.
And the people that you are that you're doing with, I'm sorry, I was having to send a message to somebody, so I missed it. These are venues or something, or what's going on with those pianos?
Those are recording studios.
Recording studios.
The recording studios, I've sold them pianos, or I take care of pianos for them. But what I've done is, because they don't have pianos in all of the rooms, I've offered up. I said, if you guys are interested, I could place a piano. You would have it to use for any clients that come in on the agreement that if I ever need a piano for rental, the movers would come in and take the piano out for 1 or 2 shows and then deliver it back. So
it's basically, it's free. You're kind of using it like a free storage facility.
Free storage facility, yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. It's an idea I came up with a few years ago when I just had too many pianos. And I kind of thought, I want to give it a try. Right.
Are these folks that you knew well already? Did you already have a conversation? The reason I'm asking is because I know, but I've been in New York City. New York City is a big, complicated city with all kinds of stuff going on, and I've noticed that sometimes it's actually hard to set up agreements like that, especially in a big city. Maybe it's easier when you're in a small town or something like that. But maybe people will avoid something that feels too complicated or something like that. So I'm just curious about your initial setup of those relationships. Are there people that you knew for a while, or if they were willing to go for it, they didn't get focused on the thing where they might miss their piano all of a sudden? Just curious.
Well, it's a long time relationship, right? So I've been tuning for these studios for years, many, many years. and up to some of them up to like almost 38 years. One of them is like 40 years I've been tuning for. So yeah, it's just a relationship that has been a long time relationship. You know, I've bent over backwards trying to make them happy with the tunings for their clients that come in. Sometimes they don't have a budget, you know, for touch-up tuning, so I will come there several times through the session to do touch-ups. You know, I tell them I'm in the area, I'll come back. So it's kind of there's a very good relationship.
Right. They know that they can work with you and trust that everything's going to work out. And then somebody said in the chat here a question, which is sort of on the other side of things, and I'm assuming it's sort of a similar answer, but they said, don't you find that they get a lot of wear that way? And, you know, are you kind of okay with the wear that they get, or do you see that they don't get that much wear?
Well, I'm okay with that, but they really don't get that much wear, you know. So it's you know, the small rooms in the studios, like what's called Studio B, C, or D, whatever what studio is in, they're sort of just there in case a client decides to want it. Sometimes they're using the piano without having it tuned. Yeah, it's just every now and then they get a call. They want us the Yamaha tuned in Studio 3, and I go and tune it. Right, so it's yeah, it's like sort of a give and take, I guess. But and there's been some cases where I've had those pianos available for sale, and I have clients that wanted to buy them. I developed sales out of those studios on a couple occasions. So yeah, there is it's a long process, but a long relationship with these clients.
Hey, Wayne.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wayne, it's David. Can you talk about your evolution as a piano tuner and a piano technician, and how you learned how to do super intuitive, super high-end work on pianos, so that all these killer musicians in Toronto just love your work? Talk about that. Why your work is better than that, is so good and satisfies people so
Tell us
quickly.
why you're so amazing.
Well,
I would say, I'll say one more thing after that. I will say, it almost seemed like maybe you had a plan for what you wanted to talk about too. So if you had other things you want to talk about, you're welcome to not let us sidetrack you. But that's a great question from David as well. So
okay. Well, I'll just start by the point that it's so important to have music in school. So we have to be advocates of that. We really have to. I started playing guitar when I was 11. I was labeled a slow learner. So they sent me off to a vocational school where I learned all the shops. I learned how to be electrician, carpentry, metalworking, all the shops, you name it. But they happen to have music there also. So I was taking music on top of that, learning to play saxophone, taking guitar on my own. This was 1964. I was a big fan of the Beach Boys, playing guitar. And then I went to a school that there was a music store right around the corner. And I went in there one day and asked them, I was looking for work after school. And they gave me a job when I was 15 years old. And I would work there every day after school, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would work late on Friday night and all day Saturday. And I was making so much money, but
wow.
my mom wanted room and board. So I paid my mom room and board, and did that for all the time I was going to high school, for 4 years. And as that evolved, in that music store, I think it was 1968 or 69, the first Yamaha store opened up next door. It was called Lloyd Edwards Music, and they were a Yamaha dealer. And I met all the salesmen from Yamaha coming in, because that's when they started selling Yamaha product in Canada. Got to know the owners next door, and I showed an interest in pianos. But I didn't learn tuning. I was doing guitar repair. I was doing all the store work. From there, I got tired of working within the store and started working on joining road crews. So I started traveling with different bands. I traveled with Supertramp when they broke out into America. Traveled all around with them. We carried our own piano. I met most of the tuners that came into on those shows, right? And after
And
that,
this was in the 70s?
that would be
This was in the
that was going
70s?
into 76, I think.
Got it.
Into the 76, 77, right?
And you still hadn't learned how to tune pianos?
No, I did not learn them. No, I did not learn anything about pianos until the 80s, right? So,
Wow.
yeah, so it just evolved. But what happened with the music business, because I worked at the music store, I was going to all these NAMM shows. So I would go to Chicago NAMM. I went to Atlanta many times, Los Angeles to these shows before I was a tuner. So I was totally immersed within the business back then. Met all kinds of famous guitar players back then, like Chet Atkins and Les Paul and, all these guys. But anyway, what happened with my work, I was touring with, after Supertramp, I was working for the band, a guy named Gino Vanelli. And I had an accident when I was stepping off a truck, and I broke my back. And I was off work for 2 years. So what happened?
Wow.
Off work, I had surgery in my back, rehab, and 2 years off work, and then finally getting back to into doing something. It just so happened workers' compensation I was involved with, and they said, because your injury was so severe, we can train you. Is there something you want to do? Go look at what courses are available at the colleges. So George Brown College had a course that they were teaching. They just opened up, and Ted Samble was the teacher at George
Wow.
Brown. So that's how I got into the piano stuff. I started right there on the very first years they started, a two-year program.
And Ethan, do you know who Ted Sambell was?
No, I do not. Tell me.
Wayne.
Ted Samble was this genius, fine English gentleman that was in the emergency fire brigade when they were being blitzed in England in World War II. He had a long history of piano technology education going back to the 30s and 40s. He was a master craftsman, beyond belief, his knowledge he had. So patient and kind. And he's a real legend, this guy. He passed away a few years ago. But
He worked for Glenn Gould. He worked for so many awesome artists. He was, the greatest honor I ever got was when Ted Sambell came to a class of mine and said my tuning was amazingly musical. He said that was it for me, man.
Yeah. So within the first year program, I joined PTG immediately, and I found my first letter when I joined. I think it was 1984, and I started tuning right away. It took me a long time to get into the swing of it, but I started and continued to look for the answers. I just had it in my blood that